An táim a tháinig na Gaeilge héireann, le seachtrí an bealaidas a d'aistrigh na daoine a gcultúr ar glúin go dtí an céad glúin eile. Leanaidir leis an cleachta sin péin uair a tháinig na mánaigh agus a scríbhneoireacht don tír. Na fillí agus na baird go háirithe a dhéanaan an obair sin. Nuair a chuir sasanna na péindalaithe orring, béad tríd an béalaidas a chomáid na daoine an seancultúr beo. Ba iad na hamhráin na scéalta agus an fillíocht a chúla na daoine óga agus a bhúnlaigh a theagna agus a barsantacht. Daoine óga cosúla Kevin Barry. Is na tithe bathanaíocht leis an pharantí agus na hamhránaí a leanú an cleachta sin. Inniuh tá an seancultúr i mbaol arís. Tá cleachta bathanaíocht ag tite mas úsáid do bharr an telefís agus IT. Conas san isis a féidirling ar gcultúr a aistriú go dtí an naoine óga. Sin ar fág bhfuil an video seo déanta againn, chun an sean cleachta agus na téamaí cultúra a bhain leis a chéamhnú. Tásúla agam go minic tú teanmh agus úsáid as. Before the monastic settlements brought writing to Ireland, and when the penal laws tried to deprive our ancestors of education and culture, it was through the oral tradition that so much of our history, culture, and heritage was transmitted from one generation to the next. Academic historians can tell us what happened, when and how it happened, but academic history cannot tell us the thoughts, the perceptions, and the feelings of the local people. The fáilreaigh and bone shop of the heart, as he has called it. That story is told through the songs and stories of the oral tradition. The oral tradition was how our Irish culture was preserved and learned. The stories, songs, and poems that illustrated our way of life and our cultural beliefs were repeated at social events, heard, modified, and passed from one generation to the next. The bards and Shanachies were the main custodians of the culture. Queen Elizabeth I recognised, "We shall never conquer Ireland while the bards are there." The local rambling house sessions where neighbours gathered were also key to that oral tradition. When it was dangerous or unpopular to talk or write publicly about certain events, when official history was silent, the oral tradition, the songs and stories sung and told around the firesides, retold the stories of history as the local people perceived that history. Singer-collector Frank Hart stated, "The people in power write the history, the people who suffer write the songs." If we explore the themes of these songs and stories, we can see a pattern of themes emerge that in no small way shaped the character of Carlos Kevin Barry and many other young people of his and other generations. It can be well argued that it was these songs that carried on the oral traditions, the culture, and the heritage of the people. This, despite the efforts of penal laws, imperial brutalities, or colonial sneers to denigrate or destroy the old culture. The most common themes of the oral tradition include the struggle for liberty from oppression, local characters and local events, social comment, heroes, political and sporting, pride in place, emigration, love, sport, and fun. These themes painted a picture of what was to be admired or despised, the heroes and the villains, and in this way the young were exposed to the culture of their ancestors. Sadly, the oral tradition is now under threat from our modern social media. Our modern culture is shaped by influences that emanate from places known and unknown across the world. The values of our ancestors are diluted or dissolved. The moral framework that shaped and supported our Irish way of life is under serious threat. The gathering of neighbours in the local rambling houses are now few and far between. Where they do occur, the attendance tends to be of the older generation. Very few young people attend. The project, The Keepers of the Flame, Comáidí ar Scéal, is an effort to revive and maintain the ancient oral tradition culture by introducing school children to the rambling house and oral tradition experience, and by encouraging them to join with and follow in the customs that go back to earliest times in Ireland. It seeks to link the generations and to show a way in which our rich culture can be revived and nurtured.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen there. And you're all very welcome to our Rambling House here in Carlow tonight. Lovely to see you all here. And we're going to make a great night out of it. And without further ado, we'll kick on with our first entertainer, Mary Butler, when you're ready.
Long, long ago, ancestral lore was passed on orally. The spark to light the cultural fire was lit in families, and local neighbours and the clan all warmed to that old flame, and so all came to act the same, the keepers of the flame. Argal Turur, O Gluin Godluin, Tri Comadi, our scale. That cultural fire, fanned into flame, became our Irish way. So strong it burned, Norse and Norman adopted Irish ways. Shankie and Bard, they were the stars who tended to the flame. They told the stories of our race, the keepers of the flame. Argal Turur, O Gluin Godluin, Tri Comadri, our scale. Queen Liza knew the part they played, how bards maintain the flame. Her empire tried to quench our ways to their eternal shame. But by fireside on rambling nights our culture still was safe. The singers and the Faranti, all keepers of the flame. Argal Turur, O Gluin Godluin, Tri Comadri, our scale. How can we keep the flame today with new technology? The button we press will answer all quests, from AI to zoology. AI and facts need more than that, they need a culture frame. We need to maintain our cultural flame and the keepers of the flame. Argal Turur, O Gluin Godluin, Tri Comadri, our scale. In old Clonmore lived such a man, MacDonald was his name. He aimed to keep the fire aflame, not glory and not fame. There Eddie Mac and his rambling house all kept the fire aflame. Now Eddie is gone, he's joined a throng, the keepers of the flame. Yes, Eddie's passed to heaven's host of keepers of the flame. Argal Turur, O Gluin Godluin, Tri Comadri, our scale.
Thank you very much, Mary. Beautiful ballad and well sung. Thank you. Now, we'll go to Mr. Liam Murphy. What have you for us, Liam?
In Mountjoy jail one Monday morning, high upon the gallows tree, Kevin Barry gave his young life for the cause of liberty. Just a lad of 18 summers, yes, there's no one can deny, as he walked to death that morning, he proudly held his head on high. Just before he faced the hangman in his dreary prison cell, British soldiers tortured Barry just because he would not tell the names of his brave comrades and other things they wished to know. Turn informer and we'll free you, Kevin proudly answered no. Shoot me like a soldier, do not hang me like a dog, for I died for dear old Ireland on that still September morn. All around that little bakery where we fought them hand to hand, oh, shoot me like a soldier, for I fought for Ireland. Kevin Barry, you must leave us, on the scaffold you must die, cried his broken-hearted mother as she bade her son goodbye, turning to her saying, "Ah, mother, don't you weep, for it's all for dear old Ireland, and it's all for freedom's sake." Calmly standing to attention as he bade his last farewell to his broken-hearted mother, whose sad grief no one could tell. For the cause he proudly cherished, this sad parting had to be. Then to death walked smiling sweetly, that old Ireland might be free. Another martyr for old Ireland, another murder for the crown. British laws may crush the Irish, but cannot keep her spirits down. Lads like Barry are no cowards, from their foes they will not fly. Lads like Barry will free Ireland, and for her sake they'll live and die. Lads like Barry will free Ireland, and for her sake they'll live and die.
Thank you so much, Liam. Wonderful rendition. The applause tells it all. Thank you, Liam. Now, Mr. Paddy Lawless, what have you for us, please?
Ye friends of Irish liberty and sons of Granuaile, Be not afraid of England's bull, his head, his horns are ta'en. He's but a shadow on the grass, reflected from a tree. So cut the branches, bear brave boys, and plant the liberty. Eradicate the Saxon root, which sucks our native soil, and takes from us the flower and fruit of our forefathers' toil. We'll till the land whereon it stands, and plant another tree, whose appellation e'er demands the name of liberty. We can't forget our martyrs dead, Fitzgerald, Emmet, Tone. We can't forget the latter yet, the last brave heroes gone. Yes, all who in Manchester died upon the gallows tree. Revenge me, boys, their mothers cried, and seek the liberty. We don't forget our brothers dear, who are in prison cell. We can't forget the ones we left, are not but doomed but dwells. Condemned by bloody Britain's laws, in prison there to be, because of seeking for the rights, the cause of liberty. With green flags fluttering from our staffs, when liberty we've seen, we write our martyrs' epitaphs on golden marble stone. And Tara's heart that silent sleeps, well strong once more must be, and we will sing while Britain weeps for Ireland's liberty. Oh, liberty and freedom will surely on us smile, for we have set our country free, our own dear Emerald Isle. Oh, liberty and freedom implanted there must be. So break the branches, cut the roots, and plant the liberty. Oh, liberty and freedom implanted there must be. So cut the branches, break the roots, and plant the liberty.
Lovely ballad, and once again, brilliantly sung.
The Jolly Fox Hunters. Come, boys, let us follow the fox. No more we'll be called lazy grunters. We'll hunt him through mountains and rocks, for we are the Jolly Fox Hunters. We'll rise him at 6 in the morn. I'll hold 10 to 1 that we'll kill him. If Lang gives a blast to his horn, we'll surely all follow Sir William. The last time we met for the chase at Kilcoltram the babbies assembled. We drew round that beautiful place. Had sly Reynard been there, he'd have trembled. The red rogue broke Collyhoun copse. We led off with Bowler and Jolly. We brushed him by hills, dales and rocks, and we ran him through hazel and holly. Of the bogs and the brakes we kept clear, but the brooks and the banks disregarded. Dick Lang pushed us on with each cheer. The country all round we're sure heard it. Poor Reynard he came to disgrace, for the ducks and the geese felt his ravage. He ran for his life through each place to the beautiful sight of Rock Savage. By the palace of Marley we ran. Ballycrinnigan rock scrambled over. Up by Knockamulgurry each man went as if he was going to clover. Like eagles we rose on the hill. All Wexford we saw underneath us. But the rogue was in front of us still, and we hadn't a turn to breathe us. We ran him towards the Black Stairs, where the best horse in Europe would stumble. Mick Sinnott with Bill Garrett's mare, like mountebanks down they did tumble. Then he thought to get onto the rocks, which before us rose up like church steeples, but we snaffled the wily old fox, or we'd have all gone home limping cripples. Dick Lang blew his horn right stout, and you'd think we were going to burn. The people so crowded about when they heard he was dead as a heron. Then like hosiers we footed along. Each sportsman had aired his red jacket. A few of them dropped from the throng, but in Michael they ended the racket.
Now, we'll go to the gentleman beside you, Mr. Bernard Jennings. Bernard, you're on.
My Carlo song. For to write a song like any man, sure it's what I wish to do. It's to tell about the place I love in words both fine and true, and let the one who's never seen the beauty of my home imagine in his nightly dream the place where I come from. On Leinster's mount above the vale, the 9 stones standing proud, a blackbird perched upon a rock, his song he sings aloud. The tombs of kings and chieftains, they lie many on the land. From Borris to Rathvilly towns, they were built by native hand. The Barrow carves her course so wide through gently rolling hills, her waters giving life to land as over rock she spills. Past Loughlin Bridge and Munavyug are flowing to the sea. The nature of her riverside is a pure delight to me. From Clonegall to Ballantown you'll find no finer sights, and south to Ballymurphy beneath the Blackstairs heights. The Abbey of St. Moling, where they bowed their heads to pray, as the sun it rose above Kaleshin hills at the dawning of the day. In Carlow town her castle stands, a beacon to our past, of how a troubled nation she has found a way to last. Though blood was spilt around her stones and mothers cried in pain, now flowers grow among her halls in sweet free Irish rain. Every child of God they surely love the place where they belong, and every corner of the earth, well, it's praise in its own song. But my song, it's about the place where I was born and raised. I love my county Carlow until my dying day.
My Carlo song, sung by a Carlo man. Nobody does it quite like you, Bernard. Well done. Thank you. Now, we'll move across to Mr. Seamus Dunn. Seamus, in your own time, please.
There's many a place in Ireland of fame and great renown, and there's one of them so dear to me, quite near to Carlow town. I love this place forever sure, 'tis part of all my cone. 'Tis the place where I was born and reared on the green hills of Rossmore. On looking down from these high hills, fine sights that can be seen, with the Barrow flowing gently among the fields of green, with the Wicklow hills in the distance and Mount Leinster to the fore. 'Tis no wonder that your heart might quake on leaving sweet Rossmore. When young I work in Rossmore, mind sure I work there every day, with a pick and a shovel collaring the coal, that's how I earn my pay. The work was hard and conditions bad, my muscles oftentimes sore, but I'll ne'er forget the friends I made when I worked down in Rossmore. Then things got bad, sure the mine closed down, they said there was no coal. There was nothing for the miner but to sign upon the roll. So I packed my bags to emigrate, like many's the man before, and the bid farewell to Carlow town and the green hills on Rossmore. Now I'm over here for many's the year in this great English town, and the place that I would like to be is high over Carlow town. And if ever I return again to stand on my father's floor, I'll never more be parted from the green hills on Rossmore. No, I'll never more be parted from the green hills of Rossmore.
Thank you, Seamus. Lovely, as always. Now we'll go back across to this side of the house. Mr. Danny Brown. Danny, in your own time.
Jamesy Byrne is home from America. Sure, I met him the other day. We spoke about all the change in the parish since the time he went away. We talked about all the old fellas, the things that they said and done. And he said he was really sorry to come home and find that they're all now dead and gone. We looked across at an old broken down house and said, do you know, the last time I handled a fork, well, it was over there at Fogarty's Thrashing the day before I left for New York. I remember it well. It was a cold frosty morning. We were thrashing a big rig of oats, but we were well prepared for the weather with our LDF boots and top coats. And I can remember old Fogarty, he came out into the haggard and he started to lay down the law. He put 3 of us minding the bags at the mill and 3 more for to make up the straw. He got 2 young fellas to open the sheaves, myself and Jack Murphy to pitch. As to say, when you take the top off the rig, would you make it up in a nice little pile there by the ditch? The driver sat up in the engine and the fly wheel had started to spin. The driver blew a blast with his whistle, the signal that the work was about to begin. He pulled out his big lever and the mill started to hum, and the dust, while I went up in the heavens when he opened the lid of the drum. At about 11:30, Jack Murphy went down on one knee and said, "See with a nod and a wink. I just got to take it easy there now, lads. The barman is here with a drink." Sure enough, Mrs. Fogarty arrived with a porter and it covered in a thick creamy froth. But judging by the look of the bucket, while she didn't lose too much time with the cloth. She plunged her 2 hands into the porter, she filled up each tin. She said she hadn't time to give them a rinse after mixing the food for the hens. At dinner time, some of the neighbours went home. Well, you see, the place, it didn't have a very good name, and sure, if we knew what we were going to get, I think we might have all done the same. "I just must be starving," cried Mrs. Fogarty. "Sit up there and eat all yous are able." And to tell the truth of the woman that day, it was lashings of grub on the table. Now, the meat tasted a bit queer. Oh, of that there wasn't a doubt. "I don't wonder where did she get it?" "Well," says Jack Murphy, "I'll try and find out." Mrs. Fogarty came around asking if we want any more. "Oh, I do," said Jack, and he held up his plate. "God, ma'am, I tell you one thing, wherever you got it, but that's the finest of mate." Mrs. Fogarty's face lit up like a light. She made a neat little bow. Well, you'd never believe it, but that was the hind leg of the sow. And she died after having the bunions, the poor unfortunate beast. But sure, we thought of nothing short of a crime, for the seizure to find out a mate go to waste. All of a sudden, Jack put his hand up to his mouth. "Oh, I don't want any more." With that, he made a mad dash and out like a bullet through the door. When the lads come back after the dinner, they asked us what do we have to eat. When we told them, well, they said they were sorry for missing such a wonderful treat. And at about 4 o'clock, this young gossoon went up to Jack and he says to him, now of course he'd been told what to say. "Mrs. Fogarty is biling the bunions. He'll have one apiece for the tea." Oh, Jack's face turned purple with rage. Of course, we all started to laugh. And with that, he grabbed the young fellow by the scruff of the neck and he shoved him face down in the chaff. It's 40 long years now since Fogarty's thrashing, and there's been many a change since then. And although I spent many a happy year in New York, you know, I'm really glad that I'm back home again. Thank you very much. Man.
Well done, Danny. One of the late, great Jim Nolan's recitations, written by Jim, of course, as well, a Carlow legend. And that just reminds me when you're, after reciting that about Jim, when Jim passed away in 2012, a couple of months maybe after he left us, I put together a little eulogy, if you like, or a tribute to the late Jim Nolan, and it goes like this. The roll is called, Big Jim is gone. His voice we'll hear no more, but his name is etched forever on the pages of folklore. For those who knew this gentle giant, he was an easy friend to love. And on Good Friday evening, Jim was called to heaven above. And as day broke over Michael, the sad news quickly spread that Jim Nolan, he had passed away, and 1,000 tears were shed. the supreme storyteller, he was known both far and wide. And Carlow lost a legend the day Jim Nolan died. Jim was born in October in 1922, the year Ireland gained her freedom with Michael Collins and his crew. Now Jim grew up in Moyshell, and as he reached a certain age, his talents, they were plain to see, and he was lured onto the stage. As an actor, he was brilliant, and his stories, they did flow. He even featured on RTE with Gay Byrne on The Late Late Show. Now Jim lived and farmed in Ballinrush, the place where he grew up. And 'twas there that he wrote about the young man who was the real sure sign of a pup. Aye, he told us about Binty Maguire, who was tied down when he was dead, until someone cut the rope at his wake and Binty shot up in the bed. Ah yes, Jim's stories, they were magic. They were better than vintage wine. And just to hear Jim and his sister Bridie declare that they would sign on the dotted line. Now, Jim Nolan was a gentleman. I'm sure we'll all agree on that. With his big broad smile, his walking cane, his pipe and his owl hat. You see, Jim could brighten up any rambling house, whether it be in sunshine or in rain. And believe me, we will never see the likes of Jim again. But Big Jim, we will remember you as the years go rolling by. For all the pleasure that you gave us, Jim, your name will never die. And as we gaze on your beloved Mount Leinster, with its heather, gorse and bush, may you rest in peace forever. Big Jim from Ballinrush. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Mary. Okay, well, that's myself and Danny after expressing what we thought of the late Jim Nolan. Now, we go to the far side of the kitchen. Mr. Tony Malone, in your own time, Tony.
Golden corn has not been cut, and the meadows overgrown, and from the moors of Garteen Crin the pheasant cock has lately flown. The soft red apples lie despoiled on my mother's orchard ground, and the setting sun is short dead done, cast shadows all around. The old men tend the pastures now, for the young men have all gone to fight with grief for their belief 'twas a bitter feud and long. My brother with his Thompson gun faced me across the moor, and against God's will I shot to kill, my sorrow will endure. At the crossroads where the dancing feet sent echoes down the lane are all silent now, and many's the brow is creased with grief and pain. Oh, cross the wide divide and take my brother's hand, and who was with him when he died by the Slaney shifting sand. How can we heal this bitter rift that separates us now? For friend fought friend unto the end, 'twas a bitter fight, and how can the hate and fear of yesteryear diminish in our minds. Oh, the Civil War was a cruel war to break the ties that bind. But the ash tree lives and its seedlings gives a hope to boy and man, and the GA once more held sway in the fields where the hurlers ran. And the verdant spring a hope did bring, and the fields were tend again, and the carefree sounds from the hurling ground sent echoes down the lane. Very good.
Thank you very much, Tony. One of your specials, and well done. Thank you. Now, we'll go to the top of the hill to Mr. Michael Rice. Make your own time.
It's a Saturday in October in 1983. Just another Saturday or so it seemed to be. That day has made history, of which was very sad, for it was the day that Mickey Rice flew in the plastic bag. It was down in Balnabrana that we all worked hard all day. We were getting out potatoes and drinking mugs of tea. In the evening I came home full of mud and clay. Says the wife, now go and get a drink, it's been a long hard day. So down to the grove I did go, as happy as could be. I met an old acquaintance with Billy Mutley. Says Mutley, have you got the car? I had sure as a rule. So we sailed away to Cretty Yard and on to the salmon pool. Now we stayed there for quite a while, then we drove on to Cairns Bridge. Now we drank away till closing time, then headed for the ridge. Coming down along the hill, the light shone in the sky. 'Twas from the White Granada, and it pulled up closely by. Now I let down the side window and the guard put in his nose. He says, you have drink taken too much, I suppose. He handed me a plastic bag, the smallest ever seen. And he said, me boy, now blow in darts until you turn it green. Now all you know, I turned it green, and he said, now step out please. You must leave your friend behind, and please give me the keys. Said Mutley, don't you worry me, everything will be alright. But they took me to Kilkenny as the stars were shining bright. Now the doctor, he was waiting and he read for me the rules. He says you can give me blood or urine if you choose. He handed me a bottle and I filled it to the top. And they put my name upon the cap in case it would get lost. Now it was in Castlecomer Court my license I did lose. I got 12 months suspension for drinking too much booze. Now I have my license back and the truth I'll tell to you. Whenever you go drinking, boys, remember two will do.
Brilliant, Mike. Absolutely brilliant. Now, I'll go to the people who are sitting patiently here all night. Fiach and Clara, when you're ready, in your own time. Thank you.
Eileen
Joke to no funny to Eileen a room. Joke to no funny to Eileen a room. Joke me see on me choke me see on me choke me see on me Eileen a room. Yawning down the line, Eileen a room. Yawning down the line, Eileen a room. Yawning down the line, she's the tear Eileen the Superman last Eileen Eileen
Fiach and Clara, well done to you. That was lovely. Okay, folks, look, we've come to the end of our evening here in Carlow Rambling House. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for turning up tonight and for each of your performance. I think it was brilliant, but others can judge it their way. And now we're going to conclude with a medley from all the musicians, followed by our national anthem, Ora Naveen. Thank you very much, everybody, and safe journey home. Thank you. Good night.
Well done.